Hello and good week. An amazing Pasha's Balak. Tremendous, tremendous. Let us learn. It says Sipurey Baal Shem. So tonight is the yorzeit of Ohr Hachaim Hakodosh. Chusu Yagin Aleinu. Said that the Baal Shem Hakodosh and the Ohr Hachaim are the great luminary and the minor luminary, and had they both met, Mashiach would have come, which is why we're not able to meet. Today we'll learn the story of Rabbi Dov Ber of Mezrich. He's a huge Talmid Chacham, Tarashas Poskim, amazing knowledge in Kabbalah. When he heard about the Baal Shem HaKadosh, and everybody's going to him, and for his tefillos, he's performing great miracles, he decided, you know something, he's going to go and check the Baal Shem HaKadosh out to see, since he was a big masmid. Immediately, when he set off on the trip, he started regretting the fact that he took it upon himself to go. When he came to Baal Shem Tov, he thought he was going to hear Torah. Instead, Baal Shem Tov told him a story that once, on the road for a few days, and didn't have any bread to give his wagon driver, and a poor goy came with a sack with bread, and he bought some bread to give the Balagola, and stories like that. Second day, he came to the Baal Shem Tov, and the Baal Shem Tov told him how he didn't have any hay to give the horses. And suddenly something happened, he was able to give it to them, and so forth. Now, in all the Mises of the Baal Shem Tov, there was tremendous chokhmah. Anybody who was able to understand, but the Rabbi Magid, he didn't understand that. So because of that, he went back to the inn, and he told his guy who served him, whatever, I want to get back home. But being it's very dark, we're going to spend the night here, and then we'll go. And Chatzois, the Magid decided he's going to go there. The Baal Shem Tov sent his Mishamish to call him, and he went to him. Baal Shem HaKadosh asked him, "Do you know how to learn?" So the Magid said, "Yeah." Well, I did hear that you know how to learn. Have you learned Kabbalah? Do you have some knowledge of it? He says, "Yeah." So the Baal Shem Tov told him, okay, told his Mishamish, bring me Sefer Etz Chaim for Arizal. That's the fundamental Sefer of Kabbalah. And the Baal Shem Tov showed it to Dov Ber 1 with Mamorim, asked him, please learn this particular Maimar. So after the Rav, the Magid, looked at it, and he said what the Pshat is. The Shem Tov said, you don't know anything. So the Magid again looked at it, and he said to Baal Shem Tov, the Pshat is the way I said it, but if the Rav knows a different Pshat, tell me, and I will know who is the truth with. Baal Shem Tov told him, stand on your feet. And he stood. Baal Shem Tov said, in this particular Marmad, there are a few names of Malachim. And the minute the Baal Shem Hakodosh said the words of the Maimar, the entire house was filled with light. And fire was like burning around them, and they saw these Malachim, both the Baal Shem Tov and the Rav Magid, they saw these Malachim. So the Baal Shem Tov told the Magid, yes, the Pshat is the way that you said it. But your learning is without neshama. So immediately the Rav Magid told the person, that brought him over, go back home, I'm staying here. And he said the Baal Shem Tov, and, the rest, as they say, is history. Rabbeinu said how good it is to spend a long, long time to be able to spend 1 hour with the tzaddik. It's good to spend a long time, or to spend 1 hour with the tzaddik. It is not possible to even begin to illustrate, the importance of spending a time with the tzaddik. We all have different times in our lives that somehow seem to matter more, as if they include more time in it than the regular days. Obviously, we don't know what any day is, what any moment is. We don't understand what is the value of living for a single minute. L'tov v'lemutav. We have no idea the value of a single minute that we live. And what is the value of what we do with it? But when you're connected to the tzaddik, everything is transformed. It's not just that it is more, or it's more important, or everything is transformed. One of the biggest problems with the way of Yiddishkeit, which is not fully cognizant of the central part of tzaddikim in reality, in the existence of reality, is that, one tends to look at Yiddishkeit, Torah, as, let's see, there's interesting ideas in it, or you take the mind of the tzaddik and you go, it's a nice word, it's wow, that's beautiful, or not. Nevertheless, the importance of being connected to the tzaddik and the meaning of the time that you spend learning and davening and doing whatever it is that you do when you're connected to tzaddik, as opposed to when you're not connected to tzaddik. is the same kind of difference that there is between Lo Aleinu being a goy and being a Jew. You take a look. I mean, all HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves his creation. Everybody matters. Every single person on earth matters. So for the life of a goy, there is reputation, there is how much money you make, there is all these things matter because in reality, nothing really matters. People live today, people lived before there were computers, and people lived before there was electricity, and they lived. It was a full life. Some were famous, and some were not. Some were rich, some were poor. Some lived a long life, short life. Some are remembered in history and some are not. Nevertheless, it's a life for God. When a guy sees a Yid, he doesn't know what he sees, but there is a rising of impossible rage and hatred. And they don't know why. They come up with all kind of reasons, because, the Jew has money, or because the Jew has all the money, or because the Jew is fighting for his life, or the Jew is winning, or whatever it is. But that's not the truth. That's just finding, clutching at straw, try to find why. The answer is that this is a deep-seated jealousy that has no words, that cannot be defined even, no matter how hard they try. The fact that then when they look at a Jew, they are looking at somebody whose life has a meaning, which everything that you put together in this world cannot come close to. Anywhere that 1,000 donkeys don't make one person. Just don't. The life of a Jew is a mystery. Only Kadosh Baruch Hu knows what a life of a Jew means, what a minute of a life of a Jew means, and where these things go to. Nobody has any notion, any idea. We don't know. The Goyim definitely don't know, but they know that there's something there that is infinitely more than anything that they can get, even if they have $1 trillion businesses or whatever. It doesn't matter. The same difference exists between Sir and Kodesh Baruch Hu, away from the tzaddik, far from the tzaddik, and Sir and Kodesh Baruch Hu connected to the tzaddik. It's not measurable. You can't bring it into Cheshbon B'chlal. This is what the Maggid saw. I mean, when we speak, we said the Maisa that the Baal Shem Tov read a few of the words, and the room lit up, and they saw the angels, and so forth and so on. It's not a question of like a magic, hocus pocus, and boom, suddenly you see angels. That's not what it's about. It's a different level of living. It's a level of living of Adam Harishon before the sin. When I said Adam Harishon before the sin, so he had one horn, where the babies, he had it's not a horn, not a physical horn, obviously. He was connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Adam Harishon, the day that you will eat from the tree of knowledge, good and bad, of knowing good and bad, you will for sure die, he said. You shall surely die. And we saw that Adam Harishon did eat from the tree, and he did not die that day. In fact, he lived for 930 years. So obviously the answer is the same, that being that that day it was decreed that he will eventually die. So he was what you call a dead man walking. Until he actually died. But that's not what is written. What is written is that the day that you shall surely die, the meaning is that the life of Adam Harishon before the sin of Eitz Hadas was an infinite life. That light upon his head was a connection to the Kesa Elyon. It's not the eternal life that Adam Harishon had that was taken away. It's not just a life that simply don't end, and another day don't end, another day don't end. And if you take a life of somebody who Adam Harishon lived for 630 years, so the difference between the life is here you have 930 years, sorry, not 600, 930 years of not dying, and Kivyochel, the life before the sin would have kept on going on. That's not the case. It was such a total life that it compared to the life that Adam Harishon had before the sin, that life that he had afterwards was considered death. It considered being dead. The same way that when a person passes away in this world and is buried, we know that there is what they called kisa de chayusa that remains, havla de gamida in the bones. There is a life force that remains there. The nefesh remains there. Compared to, to the life that the person live until he passes away, well, it's considered death, but it's not nothing. It's a life. It's a very constricted life, very limited life. It's called the Shena Offer, the sleeper of the ground, the sleepers of the ground. Compared to the life that the person lived until then, it's considered dead. But the truth is that how much alive we are before that stage of passing away is a lot less living than the life that other Rishon lived before the Chet Hadas. Compared to the life then, we are already dead. We are dead. Except the tzaddikim, obviously, that managed to get themselves to the life of other Rishon before the Chet, and anybody who's connected to them is connected to that life as well. The difference between being connected to the tzaddikim and not, in Yiddishkeit, I'm not talking about being a goy. The difference is between life after the sin to life before the sin. When death and life. Keeping Torah and mitzvahs. I don't mean, being a Vavadai, those in Chal don't keep Torah and mitzvahs. Malach Yisrael, B'nat Hashem. Everybody is filled with mitzvahs. Being connected to the tzaddik is a totally different level of living, in which time doesn't play any role at all. That's why Rabbeinu says, Tov levalot zman merubeh. It's good to spend a long, long time, to be 1 hour with the tzaddik. This is what this story of the Baal Shem Tov is showing us. Let's take a quick look at Sichos Harab. Let's see what's going on here. Sicha 251. Reish Nun Aleph. B'yimei Elul v'aseh simei tshuva v'yom noroim. In the days of Elul and the 10 days of tshuva and Yom Noroim, until Hoshana Rabbah, Rabbeinu has instructed a few people to say all the books of the Tanakh, of the Bible, from beginning to end. וגם הוא בעצמו, and he too, would נוהג כך כמה פעמים. He also did it a few times. גם היה גומר בכמה ספרים בימים אלו, he used to go over and finish a few other sforim, and I do not remember to enumerate all of them well, says Ibn Nosson. Obviously, besides the very fact that you just heard, this is what needs to be done, B'ezrat Hashem, you want to take it upon yourself, go ahead. Elul comes, read the Bible, the Tanakh, from Bereshis all the way to Divrei Yomim. It is also customary to say, to go over Tikkun Ezer, or all the 70 Tikkun Ezer, whether you say it Lashon Kodesh, you say it in Aramaic, whatever it is that you can, everything is good. But the point that I actually would like to make about this is, there are certain times that are auspicious to do certain things, as we know. And have a real true friend, we call a Rea, not just Chaver, but a Rea, is a very precious thing. A Rea is somebody that will never judge you. You can be open up and, open up your vulnerabilities and your bad. And he's not gonna, widen his eyes and, round eyes and say like, what? Whoa, this is over the line. He's not gonna do that. This is a real. It's not because he doesn't care about bad, but because he believes that you are inherently good. It's very difficult to find such a but there is such a friend that is there for you. And that's a Kadosh Baruch Hu. The one who is always listening to you, always loves you. He's not shocked by anything that you can tell him. Always sees the good in you. Always willing to listen to you. There is an auspicious time if anybody wants to start making his way to this and speaking to Kodesh Baruch Hu as much as you can. And that starts, Mitzvah Hashem, this week with Shivasa B'Tammuz when the 3 weeks are starting. And it is during these 3 weeks that HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself, as it were, is also lonely. Is also looking for somebody to talk to. Is also looking to be consoled. How good it will be for you, for me, for all of us, to take a few minutes in the middle of the day, just a few minutes, and sit down on the floor and say a couple of tikkun chatzos, a few minutes, and then talk to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for a few minutes. Say whatever comes to your mind. It doesn't matter where you start. You can start with things that are bothering you. You start with certain things you want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do for you. With thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, anything. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows that you're trying to talk to him. It's not just that you are, you just want to thank him. You just want to, beg him to do this for you, to do that for you. He knows you're trying to talk to him, but you don't have the language. You don't have can break the barrier. You have problems breaking the barrier between you and him. So you're starting by kvetching, by complaining, or by this, but the main thing is that you really want to talk to him. He knows that. He's not judging you. B'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help us this week and every week. He's able to speak to him, talk to him about everything. A minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, half an hour, an hour, every single day. And when you run into a problem, you say, listen, I don't know what to do. I truly don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I do not know what to do. Talk to Kodesh Baruch Hu about it. Talk to him about it and wait. Wait for deliverance. B'ezrat Hashem will come. One of the best things, emotionally, speaking to Kodesh Baruch Hu, is the fact that you can just give it over. You're upset, giving over to Kodesh Baruch Hu. You're anxious, give it over to Kodesh Baruch Hu. And then just wait. Your deliverance will for sure come. Connect to the tzaddik. Everything that you do has an endless, eternal meaning. You're definitely good. You're definitely good, like without end. You have no idea what you want. You have no idea. You have no idea. Yeah, you may have this opinion about yourself. I'm this, I'm that, I do this, and do that. You have no idea what you are. Kodesh Baruch Hu does. Talk to him. Let Hashem. Should all be Yeshua's. Some Geula Kroiva. Tonight, as we said, it's the yorzeit of Ohr Hachaim Hakodosh. So this shir is Bevadai. Yil Nishmas. Rabbi Chaim ben Moshe ben Natan. That Hashem schus to gen aleinu and His shefa will come to us through the shir that we learn tonight. I mean, this week was an amazing week. You saw what happened in America. Kadosh Baruch Hu saved, Trump was just like astonishing, truly astonishing. Good things in the work, B'ezrat Hashem. Kol Tuv, B'ezrat Hashem, Yulu Shlomo, V'vias Mashiach Tzidkenu B'Rab Yameinu B'ezrat Hashem. Amen. Kol Tuv. Let's see. Here we go.